within 2 weeks, my brother had gone from being a very healthy person, and he basically went within 2 weeks. But I will say this, that it was the hardest thing I have ever gone through in my life. My auntie had been talking about what I'd been seeing to a medium who tuned into Jonathan's energy straight away, and she said that your brother is going to step back, and he will be there if you need him, but he will step back because you need now to live your life. The work that you're going to be involved in, you are not ready for yet. And these figures, they came in and they sat on the bed and they started talking to us like telepathically, and it was like the oddest experience I've ever had. There is a voice on the camera. I'm in the house pretty much on my own, and the voice is, there's no one else in the house, and the voice says, "Truth seeker, share with us." Yes. Hi guys, and welcome to the final part of my story. This is going to be interesting. So I'm going to skim over quite a bit because a lot of this now from this point on is on the channel. In October of 2013, I attended a kind of a training exercise for investigators near Tongwyn Lice Woods, near Castle Cork. Myself, my partner Richard, and several members of his team were there, and it was my first time ever seeing a ghost box. And when I first laid eyes on it, I was fascinated that there was a device out there that could possibly bring through spirit activity. That I found was absolutely it blew my mind. I would be completely honest with you, it absolutely blew my mind. Especially when the damn thing said my name and gave me a message that from this point on I would start to learn things, and that I would meet different people, that my view of the world would change, and that there was a lot of information that I would be given over the course of the next few years.
They say the spirit's able to sort of manipulate the white noise to bring their voice through. You said your name, man, Jack?
And over the course between 2013 and say 2017, I would gradually learn about the paranormal. I would take on different cases. I would help again quite a lot of people. Some of the cases you can see on this channel, and as is depicted on this channel quite a lot, whenever we turned the ghost box on, if there wasn't a message that needed to come through on the case, there was parts of this message that were kept coming through. There was some in 2013 when we did the park hall. There was some in the Phoenix in 2014 when we did the charity event there, and we had quite a great deal come through in 2016 when we were doing different cases. And at this point I was starting to do sessions myself with the SB7.
Jared.
said my name?
Yeah.
You've seen this. I know. And we, you know, I basically learnt. We started doing this YouTube channel. I started making videos, and we kind of transitioned spiritual worlds and integrated it into Paranormal Now, because Richard has lost his team in 2013 and started a new sort of team, and I kind of got into running that with Richard, and that's how I'm kind of here now. And it's all led to a dream I had in 2017 when I was sat in this very, very room, and we are three of us were the main investigators, Richard, Martin and myself, were doing tests with the different ghost box devices that had come out by that point, because obviously the technology had moved forward, and we were live streaming, and we were doing this sort of test of different devices. Now, we had tried this in 2013, and what had happened was we were trying, it was myself and my partner, were trying to do a mediumship night on Twitch, and something took control of the mics and gave us messages through the microphones, which was a bit crazy. I'll show that to you now. But as I said, it was all these different messages that come through, and it eventually culminated in us doing these 11 live streams. Like, one of the biggest regrets I have now is we shouldn't have done those live. We should have pre-recorded them. But I think it was kind of set up so we'd learn, in a sense, not to do that again. It was quite strange. And there was two main strands that were coming out of that for me personally. I was getting direct communication from my brother, who was coming forward and telling me that just giving me more and more validation that he was there. And we were also getting communication from these beings, and we finally had a name for them, known as they were known as the Council of 12. When I look back now through the sessions, they were been referred to a few times as the Council of 12, and we've even got one saying the 12 appeared in the bedroom, in your bedroom. It was them that came and spoke to you.
Where are you? Tell us where you are. Invisible. No way.
Did you say that? It did, didn't it? I thought it did.
Where are you?
Invisible.
It did. Where are you two? Are you with us now? Are you in this room? Yes.
Oh, yes, man.
Awesome. Thank you.
Is that Jonathan? Because I just heard my name and I heard Bruv before.
I heard Charity. Johnny.
Yeah,
Is that your name? Can you give us that?
Johnny's my brother's name.
Yeah, Johnny's your brother.
Can Jonathan speak to you? It got to a point where the paranormal was just getting so intense and so crazy that we kind of lost. I was starting to lose sense of myself. In 2018, we had to take a break. Everything again just kind of broke down. And I had to take a massive step back. And emotionally, I was an absolute wreck. I was struggling with all this stuff that we'd had, all the stuff that was going on, the fact I'd have these experiences and they'd be so out of this bloody world that, you know, I'd tell them back to myself or I'd tell them to other people, and I'd be like, I don't even believe this happened and I went through it. And it was crazy. We still kept doing cases up until about August of 2018, but after that then things did kind of stop quite a bit. And for the last sort of few months of 2018 going into 2019, I started going through these messages that I had received so many years before. And it was quite humbling, because the messages were so kind and gentle and loving, but they were straight to the point. And he would take different parts of my life that happened since he passed, and he even referenced the dream, where the don't let the ship sink dream, but he would take different references from my past and he would tell me about them and say, look, you know, you thought you'd failed doing these particular instances, but you didn't. You'd succeeded in what needed to be done. You just didn't go any further because you needed to learn more. You needed to sort of get that bit done and move forward. And he was saying, like, I can see this person that you can become. I can see the best possible version of yourself. And what's stopping you is fear. What's stopping you, what's holding you back is being afraid to speak your truth, being afraid to talk and just say what you feel is going on. And at the time, it was like I was showing, you know, some of these responses to other people, and some could hear what I was hearing, others couldn't. What I heard, whether or not other people can hear it or not, it was something that was happening to me. And I believe it's something that I meant to look into more in the coming months and years, is developing ways of showing people how to listen to EVPs and how to interact with things like the ghost box and that, because there's a little bit of a skill to it which no one's really paying attention to. I've looked at it and I thought, well, if this is a spirit talking, then each response would be a figure of speech, a factor of speech, a construct of a sentence. It would have things like accents. It would have things like slang. You know, if like Jonathan's sense of humour is coming through, like, I'm your brother, you docile prick, which is very much Jonathan's sense of humour. You know, there's a point where he's arguing with Richard and the Mandela effect stream that we did. There's a point where he's kind of just taking the piss out of us. There's so many nuances of his character that were coming through, and I thought to myself, you've got to look at this as being patterns of speech, like blocks of speech, but they were coming through as well like poetry. So there was like a poetry to them as well. So when there wasn't these sort of normal sort of patterns of speech that you would expect someone to have, the profound things that were coming through had a poeticness to them. So there was this sense of like, this was my brother, but this is my brother looking at life from a different point of view when he was here. Because, you know, at the end of the day, he was only 20 when he passed. So who knows what he'd have been like at 30, at 40. You know, at the time, he would be what? He'd be about 41. Yeah, he's probably about 41 now. So at the time of recording, his physical age would have been about 37, 38 maybe. Right? So even that, like the progression of a person from like, you know, when I was 20, I was still pretty much like a child, to be honest with you. I wasn't as grown up as I thought I was at the time. You know, you develop wisdom with age. But it was something else there. It was like as if he'd remembered his other lifetimes. He was coming at me from a point of view of understanding a much bigger picture than I could comprehend. And I'll be honest, that was a little bit, not frightening, it was a bit hard to take in, because I wondered whether I was going nuts with what I was hearing.
Debbie, is it warning you about your car, Rich? Probably going to break down any minute.
Probably.
Wouldn't be the first time, wouldn't be the last.
Thank you.
I think what we need to do. Let's switch this up. I think what we need to do
Please
is
stop that.
Please stop that.
No way.
That turned off and it says, please stop that.
Doesn't have to lift a finger.
I didn't have to lift a finger.
I'm more than welcome.
You're more than welcome.
And I
Have a look at on there, see if I'm blocking.
and
Whoa.
Watch.
I've got a few thoughts in
went for his son.
July.
That's where you'll see the head.
Communicate with us. What was that? Is anyone else? so it got to a point of like, I had to really sort of sit down and say, how is this affecting me emotionally? And it was really causing some upheaval. And to one point where my partner basically had to like take me out from the middle of this road because I nearly got run over because I was completely lost. I was walking one of the dogs and I kind of like, I was like this close to a nervous breakdown, and she had to sit me down with my mother and say, look, you need to sort this out, because if you don't, you're mentally going to break. And so it after a couple of days, and I spoke to different people, different friends about it, and I came to this point, I think it was Richard who actually suggested it, just said, look, just make videos, make like a diary, get everything out of how you're feeling. And I realised that I was struggling, that if this was so real to me, why am I here? Why am I in this place where I don't always like being, when I know there's this other place I could go to and everything would be okay? And I had to reconcile that. I had to reconcile, you know, almost like sort of, they weren't suicidal thoughts, because I never would do any harm to myself, but they were thoughts of almost like an ego death then, like a thoughts of, why the fuck am I here? What the hell am I doing? Like, why am I getting all this stuff? You know, who the hell am I supposed to tell this story to? What's the point in it? And I kept working on it for some time. I kept working on myself. I took lots of time out. I spent lots of time gaming, because that's one of the ways I do take a bit of time out, and one of my hobbies. And I took some time, and I realised that it's been so long since I'd done that I'd gone through all these different things in my life, from my brother's death to I can't reel off the list again because there's so many different things. And I realised that I'd gone about 19 years and I hadn't stopped. I hadn't had a break. I hadn't had time to digest like half the things I'd gone through. I just kept going and going and going and going and going and going. And I never took the time to sit and just reflect and understand and ask myself the question, how do I feel about all this? What does this all mean to me? So I took literally about 6 months out to do that. Just to stop everything. Bring everything to a grinding halt. And literally do some sifting. If that's not serving me, it has no business in my life. Off you go. That's serving me, right, we'll explore that a bit more. That can go on the back burner. And I had to kind of survey the damage. And I had to sort of, really sort of think about all these different things I'd gone through, different loved ones I'd lost over the years, the different dramas that had happened over the years, the different places I'd been. And I really did sort of do some reconciliation. Just cleared a lot of the air over this 6 months. And it got until December of last year, Christmas time, where it just clicked. And I just thought, I'm here to be the best version of me. I always kept getting asked, is this the loving way? Because what had happened to me And regardless of whether you believe it or you don't believe it, I honestly could not give a fuck. Because that's down to you. I can't make someone believe this story. But for me, personally, a belief that harms no one, except just creating these videos. And I create these videos to show that someone I care for deeply showed love, unconditional, broke the laws of physics, basically, just to show love, just to say, I have always been there, I've never gone away. Whatever you've gone through, whatever you've felt, and I thought, I can do that for others. That's why I've tried to make so many videos this year, because with everything going on in the world, you know, everything that's been happening, you know, if one person watches these videos and it brightens their day or helps them make sense of what the fuck is going on, what's happening, it's been worth it. I'm reaching out, I'm just sharing that love that was given to me. And it's the one thing we overlook all the time. We say the love should be this, it should be that, it should be, you know, this person should be this to me, this person should be that to me, this situation should be this. If it is this, then I will love it. If it is that, I will love it. We don't just stop and go, what is it? What is it that I love? And why is it that I love? And you could say, oh, it's just a chemical reaction in the body. No. Love, to me, is a force that starts with one simple act of kindness.
Got away with one of the greatest.
Do you... Is Jonathan here?
Goodbye, Jeanette. Bye, Jude.
Yeah. Alright. That power 3. So before I burst into floods of tears, guys, I'm gonna end this. It's very hard to talk about because for me it's so layered. It's so, like, having that interaction is, if I could give that gift to the world, or if I could give it to another person, or if I could give it to, you know, whatever, makes life worth living. We dismiss so many things because we think we know it all. One thing it humbly teaches you, I know fuck all. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to swear, but it's yeah, that's what it's taught me. So thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon in another video. Take care. Hi guys, it's Jared from Paranormal Now. I hope you like the channel and hope you like the content. If you do, check out some of the other videos on screen now and click the button below to subscribe to the channel. Hope to see you soon. Take care of yourselves.